Underhill interviewing Kenny Cooper for the Muncie Labor Oral History Project. The date is January 30th, 2006. Kenny, I want to thank you for agreeing to help me with my project. And with all the people I've interviewed so far, I've had a kind of introductory standard question, and that is I'd like you to begin by telling me how you or members of your family came to Muncie, Indiana.
My grandparents moved up here from Tennessee. Before that, they had, my dad and his family had homesteaded in Texas on the Brazos River.
Oh.
And when I went down through that, I looked up and down the Brazos River, and all I could see is oil wells.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, anyway, my dad came here for work, and all his brothers.
Okay.
And, my mother was born in San Diego, California. Her mother died at her birth, and she had an aunt that lived here. They brought her to stay with, be raised by her aunt.
So it would be fair to say that your family came here drawn by economic opportunity?
Ball Corporation.
Okay. They actually came here to work at Ball Corporation?
Yeah, some of them did.
Okay. So that, I mean, like we hear often about the stories of Muncie as the nation's Middletown, that a very large number of people from Tennessee came here to work at Ball Brothers.
That's true.
Okay. Tell me about your educational background. How much education have you had?
I graduated from Central High School.
Okay.
I attended another while Olivet Nazarene University, Kankakee, Illinois.
Sure.
And then on a home study course, I finished up the ministry.
Oh, you did? Okay. What denomination? This is just my late father was a pastor in New York City in the Dutch Reformed Church. What is your denominational affiliation?
Well, it is Church of the Nazarene. I've been several years, but now I'm in a small independent, not independent, but a small group of holiness.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Evangelistic Group.
Evangelistic Group?
Yeah.
Okay. When and where did you begin your working career?
Setting bins in a bowling alley out on 32.
There are about 3 people in this project that got there. I did that too. As before the days of automatic pin setters, they had people like us. Okay, that was here in Muncie?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, continue. Then where'd you go? Upward and onward.
Then I went to. I was 11 years old, and I got my Social Security card, and I watched foul lines, city wreck. I picked tomatoes. Picked up junk in the alley during the war when I was just a little kid, or soon after the war.
Yeah.
And the first job I had was selling shoes.
Oh, okay.
Worked for a couple of shoe stores. Actually 3.
Yeah.
The last one was Clyde Edwards, and I worked for him 26 years.
Clyde Edwards, yeah, he was over by where we were, Tilton and Jackson.
Yeah. I worked for him when he was down on Jackson Street.
Yeah.
Worked for him 26 years, part-time, most of it.
Huh.
Just filled in for him when he was on vacation.
Yeah, sure.
Worked with his dad on weekends.
Yeah. Well, when did you begin your work, as I call it, in the production realm of production line, that is at Ball Brothers?
I went there in late 55, early 56.
Okay.
I only worked a short while, and then I was drafted in the Army.
Right.
I volunteered for the draft.
Right.
I spent 2 years in the Army, came back to the island and stayed there. I believe it was 16 years.
Okay. When you started out at Ball Brothers, what was your job? What did you do there?
I worked in the zinc mill all the time I was there.
Oh, okay.
And in the zinc mill, when you're low seniority, you move around a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And but I remember I thought the hardest job in the world there was a coil machine operator.
Okay.
It was a pretty hard job. It's hot.
Yeah.
What you handle's hot.
When did you become involved in union activities?
When I come back out of the Army, I was elected chief steward in my department.
Okay.
And
This is 93, the local?
yeah, local 93, Glasgow Training Quarters. And I help organize some places, and I do a few things like that. But I worked there for just a few years after I come out of service, and they begin to cut back. They begin to you'd have to divide time, and what it amounted to, he was cut in wintertime down to 2.5 days. Well, my dad had worked there for years, and I hated that because that's when the heat bills was. That's when you got very little for Christmas because it's when. And but in the summertime, we worked 7 days a week, and that didn't seem intelligent to me.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a grievance on that because it said in the glass house they wouldn't do that. It didn't say in the glass house, it just said in the union contract they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And everybody in the place was mad at me. Because the insinuation was that they'd all get, many of them younger guys are getting laid off, and they'd be bumped to jobs with it. The truth of the matter, that it went that way for about 2 weeks. And they brought them back and maintained 40 hours. And so that cut out all the working. Nobody wanted the long hours because it was so hot and dangerous. You needed a couple of days rest.
Right. So was the work in the glass house more full? I mean, it was around the entire calendar, unlike say what you were doing in the zinc mill.
Yeah, in the zinc mill we made zinc for stamping, and we were right beside the stamping department for battery shells.
Oh, okay.
And it was the busiest part was in the summertime, and for canning lids.
Oh, okay.
And we made zinc for other things.
Yeah. Was the glass house the biggest thing they had out there?
Yeah. It all stemmed from glass.
Yeah. So that was, as people around here think anyway, that was their bread and butter.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go back to your point about the union activity. So when you got involved there, you were the steward in your area.
When I won that grievance, they swore up and down it couldn't be done, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I won the grievance. They done it, and then everybody loved me.
Yeah.
So I got elected president. I think I was 24, 25 years old.
25 years old, you were president of that local?
I was president of the local.
Okay. That's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Were you the youngest guy that ever did that?
Youngest guy in our international union ever. Not only the local, but the international union was ever elected president.
How long did you do that?
I think it was just one term.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember how long the term was.
But after you were no longer president, you were still active in the union?
Yeah, but not as active.
Okay.
That kind of burned me out pretty quick.
To be a good president?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was, there was things that happened when I was president I wasn't very happy with. I was on the negotiating team before I became president.
Right.
And the company told us that they would, if we would give them a good contract, that they'd keep, so I think 3 glass house opens, and in that case, some other departments should stay open.
Yeah.
And so we agreed with that was pleasing to them, at least they said it was, the contract. The end result was 3 months later they closed down the entire place.
Huh.
So I can't help but think they do that. It's
Yeah.
coming along.
Well, I want to ask you about that because I've asked this of all the people in my projects because obviously they're in plants that either cut back or are closed. I mean, as a young guy, you're in your mid-20s, you're president of the union. I mean, how much do people like you see this coming, that things were going bad out there?
I saw it coming and was concerned about it, but I never got over to the glass house all that much.
Yeah.
In fact, the glass house was shut down before, or about the time I became president.
Oh, okay.
The following year I became president.
This is in the mid-60s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with that I had was some of the smaller departments around. They kept,
Right.
and they had hired a lot of people during when they had there was on a cost plus 10 during the war,
Right.
and they hired just a lot of handicapped people, just give them jobs, picking up glass on
Right.
the railroad track
Right.
and stuff like that. And they had worked there. The union came in, I think, in late 40s,
Yeah.
48.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get rid of those people. And I wouldn't let them.
Yeah.
They said, well, one fellow got in particular that they wanted to, get rid of him. They said they'd give him a job collecting garbage on what the city.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, he doesn't have it all. I said, just pay him his salary till he retires.
Yeah.
You want to get rid of him, and then
Yeah.
he can go on Social Security.
So did all these operations at Ball Brothers stop at about the same time? I mean, you had zinc, you had the glass house. I mean, when they decided...
No.
Okay.
The glass house stopped, and some of the other plants they began to taper back.
Right.
Stamping actually went pretty strong, and so did the zinc mill.
Oh, okay.
For several years after the glass house.
Okay. Well, the glass house is the one that moved to Tennessee.
No, the zinc mill.
That went to Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Wasn't there something that went to Munderland, Illinois, or?
Yeah, that was part of the glass house.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, so I'm trying to get a date on this thing. So by sometime in the...
I'm terrible on dates.
Okay, so, well, I mean, just talking about in the larger picture, when the glass operation closed down, that was in the early 1960s or something like that? That sound about
yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
okay. So when these people were off, I mean, they just lost their jobs.
No, they went on. They didn't lose a job. They were still a member of their union.
Right.
Most of them retired.
Oh, okay.
Many of them were quite elderly. Some of them had hired in with their dad. Their dad was a glass machine operator, and when
Right.
they got maybe 8, 9 years old, they would bring their son.
Oh, okay.
Believe that or not, they would bring their son in to off there.
Yeah.
And
So a lot of this was these kids learned the jobs from their dads.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you get your job at Ball Brothers through your father?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean the reason I'm asking you that is that seems to be a pretty common practice with a lot of these plants in Muncie, where they got in either their father worked there, or their uncle worked there, their cousin worked there, or something like that.
Well, it was a pretty good job.
Yeah.
When I may be wrong on this, but I believe I was the highest paid hourly employee that Ball Corporation had anywhere in the world at one time. They called it a tip machine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought because I was an official in the union that the last one to leave that plant would be me too,
Yeah.
but we all left the same day.
Not true, huh? Okay. In what ways did the union out there operate? And I've heard a lot about unions being very, very democratic, small d for now, in the way they operated. And is that how the union operated in terms of their function, in terms of the way they did business?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was elected, and I was in one of the small plant.
Right.
Smaller department.
Yeah.
There was only 30 guys in my department.
Yeah.
And I was elected president of the union.
Yeah.
When the other departments was not larger, you know.
Yeah. But as far as the way things functioned in terms of electing people and getting things into contracts that you want to negotiate for, I mean, this was all done kind of bottom up in terms of the people being really involved and making recommendations.
Yeah, that was when I was there. It was, the proposals were made from the floor and
Yeah.
Had to be seconded, and it was
Right.
Robert's Rules of
Yeah,
Order.
yeah,
And,
okay.
but some of these clowns would use Robert's Rules of Order to tie everything up, you know. Oh, it was.
Okay.
I started going to union meetings. I didn't smoke, and the cigarette smoke was so thick, you know, and there was usually a poker game going on downstairs.
When you were working out there, excuse me, at Ball Brothers, do you have any idea what the total employment force? I mean, how many people worked at Ball Brothers?
And, at the time I went there, it was a couple thousand.
Oh, okay. So it was one of the bigger employers.
Yeah, and there was, I think, 2,000 on layoff, and that was after the glass house began to shut down.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't after the glass.
Yeah.
We lost a couple thousand. They was
Yeah.
on the layoff. They were still members of the union.
Okay. If you're a guy your age, you come back from the service, and you're looking for a job in Muncie, and you want a job that pays pretty well, production line job. People have said to me that the real princes, if you will, of jobs like that in Muncie at that point were people at Warner Gear. I mean, is that how you looked at jobs in Muncie as far as what was the best job?
My dad would make $3 an hour, and Warner Gear would make $1.
Oh, okay.
And the zinc mill was hard. It was hard to learn.
Right.
And these guys controlled their job.
Yeah.
But it was one of the better places in Muncie.
Well, you talked about the technical aspect of your work with the machine out there. This is a zinc machine?
The rolling machine. This is like a steel rolling mill.
Okay.
Only it was zinc, and I'd done every job there.
Yeah.
I finally ended up a finish roller, but I was rough mill roller.
Okay.
That was the best paid job I had.
Yeah. Okay. During your work career out there, and you can take yourself beyond that too, because I want to talk a bit about that too. But in those old days, how would you describe the relationship between labor and management in Muncie?
For the most part, very like a war going on.
Oh, so it was really rough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you want to talk a bit more? I mean, what way? I mean, if I came here from outside, how would I know that?
There's zinc mill itself went on wildcat strike.
Okay.
And one of the boss's son worked hourly, and we got him at the head of the line as we walked out.
Okay. Yeah.
In fact, he was the superintendent's son.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the company come around and they offered me a job in management. And another guy, popular guy,
Yeah.
Jesse Bush, he took it. I wouldn't take it.
Yeah. So he went over to management?
He went to
Okay. So at that point, you'd say relationships between the ruling elders at Ball Brothers and the union guys were pretty strained.
yeah.
Okay. Did it get better?
No, they would lie to you, and we didn't know if they'd make money or not. I brought a proposal. We bought some stock in it, so we'd know what the company was doing. And the union refused to do it. So I said, buy one share. You get the same report.
Yeah, you get the annual report.
Yeah,
right. Okay. Well, as you look back from today, I mean, do you think that Muncie in 2006 has a better labor management climate than it did when you were working out there?
Yes.
Why do you think that's true?
Well, I think management grew up.
Oh, okay.
And I think labor grew up. Now, I've been on both sides.
Yeah.
I've been an employer that had union since then.
Right.
And they give me a tough way to go. But I've always tried to treat my employees, you know, the way I want to be treated then.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've watched corporate kind of take a turn to do things that I thought was very proper and good of them.
Yeah. As you look back on not only your role as a union head, but at unions in Muncie in general, what do you think unions have done for workers?
Well, I think back then it was needed. I think unions haven't done that much today because that we should have recognized that it's become the world economy.
Yeah.
And we're in competition with other people.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of automobiles and stuff that we produce was junk.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked at some of the GM plants in Anderson, in the plants, didn't work union.
Right.
And I saw such a waste of time.
Yeah.
They had no control over their workforce whatsoever. And the workforce would brag about how much they're ripping the company off.
Yeah.
You know, working a month and not turning a productive tap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a tool and die maker.
Yeah.
And I heard them with my own ears bragging about just putting a little dirt on their face so they look like they've been busy.
Sure.
And,
But you think at one time, like when you were starting out at Ball Brothers, that the unions were really necessary.
yes, sir.
Or, now, why? Because the workers were getting screwed, or what?
Well, yeah, and just like cutting the example I already gave you, where they would share the time,
Right.
so that there wouldn't be any layoffs.
Yeah.
That on the surface sounded like, well, that's a bunch of pretty good guys. And, you know,
Right.
the truth of the matter was,
Yeah.
you starved to death in the wintertime, and in the summer, you when it was so hot, it was miserable.
Yeah.
And they kept swearing up and down that they couldn't level that out. But when they was forced to, there was no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
We did them with scheduling and stockpile.
Huh. What do you think are some of the advantages and disadvantages of unions?
Today, I don't see any reason for them at all.
Oh, okay.
But then there was, you know, an employer had 100% of the authority and power. You didn't like it, you know, and so you didn't have a voice. But today,
Okay.
most of them are corrupt.
Well, you hear a lot of stories about the Teamsters and some of those.
I owned a commercial roofing company, and I was worked for a company that owned a lot of malls, and they took the president of the roofers union into the room and offered him a bribe, and I heard it. I wasn't in the room. They would not me in the room.
Is this for malls? For roofing the roof on malls?
Yeah.
Huh.
And they offered me $1,000 to.
8 or 80?
8.
8, okay.
That's one job.
Oh.
One job. It was the president of the union. They offered me $8,000 to just go away and leave them alone. they give me $10,000, go ahead and sign with them, and I lost my rear end.
Yeah, I guess. Gosh. Huh. What role did race play in Ball Brothers? I mean, was it a hard place for, say, African Americans to get jobs, or how'd that work?
It was a hard place in the zinc mill for anybody to get a job, though they hired blacks in.
Okay.
But when I said it was hard, and then some of these old guys would if you'd go in and give them a break, they would teach you enough that they could get a break and get away from the machine.
Oh, okay.
But if you wouldn't go give them a break, you would never get taught on that machine. And so it was, you would be buddy with some guy,
Yeah.
you know, and eventually you would learn by giving a guy a spare and, and getting out of there. When some of the blacks came in, it was some of them I knew well. One of them was not the president of the union.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's passed away. He was tall.
What was his name?
Tinsman.
Tinsman?
Okay. He's kind of a character, you know,
Yeah.
but he was very popular,
Uh-huh.
and there was not that many black people working there.
Oh, okay, that was my next question.
Yeah, it was. He was just well thought of, and he was tall fella, and he'd come down through the zinc mill and he'd stand beside some of these shorter guys. He'd have his hand over on his head, you know, and he was like I said, very popular.
Yeah. How about women? They have a lot of women working out there?
They did in the stamping, none in the zinc mill, but they did in the stamping, which is right next door. They was about 75% of the problems in the union had.
Oh, okay.
They would bump somebody because they sat closer to the drinking fountain. It was petty stuff.
Oh, okay.
And they'd write a grievance or get their steward to write a grievance. And then because it was so noisy, they all learned to read lips. And they could carry on conversation with someone 3 machines down. You know?
Huh.
And,
I never heard that before. That's a really great story. So they all learned to be lip readers.
yeah. And I'm hard of hearing today because of the noise.
Yeah.
And I complained about it then.
Yeah.
I said that happens to everybody. Yes.
Huh. Yeah, it happened to my father-in-law who worked at the Scott paper mill, and the noise of the paper machine. It's the same thing that happened with him. And my wife and I knew darn well what contributed to his loss of hearing, and that was it.
Sure.
What did you do after? I mean, how old were you when you left Ball Brothers when that went down?
You know, I don't remember. I wasn't very old. While I was there, I knew it was shutting down, and I formed a construction company. And I'd done some building.
Yeah.
My severance pay was $2,800, and I used it to buy a lot and build a house.
Oh, okay.
And I had good credit, and so there wasn't enough money to build a house. But I got caught in a thing in the county where I wanted to build a fourplex on that lot.
Oh, okay.
And I went to get the permit.
Right.
And because the thing in the state, they had lost their right to write permits. And I said, well, what can I do? And they said, go ahead and build it. You can build anything you want anywhere you want. So I built this fourplex. And just before I got it done, they got their right back, and they'd come out, and I had to turn that fourplex into a single-family dwelling.
Wow.
And it was a half a block from commercial.
Oh, yeah. So what did you do then? What other jobs did you have?
Oh, I sold furniture a while. I was an interior decorator.
Uh-huh. Well, you said you worked over in Anderson. You did.
Yeah, I worked for, I ran the cafeterias at the Delco plants.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The GM plants.
Right.
And I had 11 cafeterias. I supervised the kitchen and the different cafeteria.
Uh-huh.
They were union and all the benefits.
Hmm. When did you get in with Clyde Edwards?
Before I ever went in the Army,
Oh, okay.
I went in there and I'd just been married a little while, and I'd moved from job to job. And
Right.
actually before I went to Ball Brothers.
Yeah.
And same time I went to Ball Brothers, he had just hired me a few days before.
Oh, okay.
And so I stayed with him and worked at Ball Brothers too.
Oh, okay.
With him on weekends and Friday night, and he stayed open on Monday night.
Yeah.
And so I stayed with Ball Brothers until they put me out, and I stayed with him until I owned my own business.
Yeah.
And he'd still have me come back in summertime.
So when you actually retired from full-time working, assuming you have,
Yeah.
what did you retire from? What was your last thing?
I was an interior decorator for a chain of nursing homes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What chain of nursing home?
It was called HCR Manor Care.
HCR Manor Care.
Yeah.
Okay.
The closest one around in Anderson. But,
Okay.
I worked, and I just retired the 23rd day of August.
Oh, okay.
Now, not officially.
Just last August?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My wife was killed that day.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And the reason I kept working beyond retirement was she was post-polio, and she had heart failure and diabetic.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
I needed
Something to do, yeah.
I needed insurance.
Oh, okay.
That's what I needed, insurance towards that.
Yeah.
Finally, that's we got right there.
Right.
So,
How long have you been pastor of a church?
well, I'm what is called bivocational pastor.
By?
Yeah, that means that you earn your bread and butter somewhere else. My wife says that what it means is,
Oh, you mean bivocational?
yeah.
B-I?
Yeah.
Okay, bivocational.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my wife said it means that you pay him to let him pastor.
But Charlie McKeegan goes to your church? I'll be darned. Huh. Where's your church located?
It's out on Truett Road.
Okay.
The churches I pastored over the years
Yeah.
have been usually smaller. We built them up, but
Yeah.
usually I'd start out with 5,
Oh, okay.
and end up 65.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And now it's about 35.
Oh, okay.
This
Oh.
is a different church.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we bought a church down east of town about a mile.
Oh, okay. Huh. The last official question I have, and I'll let you add anything you want to add, is when I came to Muncie to join the Ball State faculty in the late 1960s, a guy who had lived in Muncie, but wasn't living here at that time, said, you know, Warren, if you go to Muncie, you better know that's a really rough union town. When you think a description of Muncie as a rough union town, late 1960s, was accurate?
Yeah.
Why?
Because one year they was considered rough, and it was hard to get into those places.
Yeah.
And I really don't think they was a lot of unions, different unions that was in a lot of different places. And it was organizing everything under the sun. Yeah.
So at that point, labor really had a reputation in this community of being tough to deal with. Is that fair? Okay. And you think that largely comes because of Warner Gear?
Well, Ball Brothers had their share.
Yeah.
And largely because of Warner Gear.
You mentioned one Wildcat when you were at Ball Brothers. Were there other strikes while you were there too?
No,
That was it?
yeah, and it was just a zinc.
Just a zinc mill. It wasn't a glass house. Well, those are all the formal questions I have, but at the end of all my interviews, I give all my interviewees the opportunity to add anything they want for posterity. So if you'd like to add anything about your role with the labor force in Muncie, please do so.
Well, when I was elected president, I was Christian. I got injured. I had a hoist fall on me, broke a cheekbone and a collarbone and 2 ribs and 2 toes. And my dad thought I was dead. This was an overhead crane.
Yeah.
And that kind of got my attention. That's when I got back to the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And when I became the president, we passed a rule against smoking in the union hall.
Oh, you did?
And so the Christians, ladies and stuff in Stanton began to attend, and some of them stand and testify, at the union meeting. So it was quite a different atmosphere than what had been there before.
Yeah.
But our union meetings was on, as I remember, a Wednesday, and after the union meeting, I would go to the prayer meeting at the church.
Uh-huh.
And I was a pastor then. And I kept thinking, man, what stinks? It was me. All that cigarette smoke.
Oh, okay.
And that's when we passed a rule against smoking in the union meetings.
Well, given that they're just now in 2006 considering doing that, except for bars and places like that in Muncie, Indiana, that's probably a long time coming.
Yeah, it was. I even had a gospel quartet sing at their Christmas party.
Well,
and they was received real well.
But when you look back on the history of the labor movement in the United States, I mean, one of the things that I think unions have stood for is brotherhood and sisterhood, and it's the same kind of thing, wouldn't you say, that you see in a good congregation?
Yeah, it sure was, and it took on some meaning, especially when you had blacks that were were active in the union, and you called them brother,
Right.
And I have black people attend my church.
Oh, yeah.
And I had yesterday I went to a dinner at a white congregation,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a few white people there. When my wife passed away, there was probably 20% were white.
Huh. Yeah.
And the organist
Mm-hmm.
and 2 singers.
Mm-hmm.
The service black.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's all been for the better. I think the union served its purpose then, and it was at the one of the meters in breaking down the race barriers.
Yeah.
At least the unions that I was.
Oh, I think that's true. Sure. Yeah.
I know that some of them are. If you belong to a certain religion, or if you did belong to a certain religion, there's some unions you couldn't get into simply because they controlled
Yeah.
the industry, or they controlled and that was true here. A brick mason, a union brick mason in the city of Muncie had to be Catholic.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much of that.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that there were times when gear was going full employment, where there were parts of gear where if you weren't in the Knights of Columbus, it was tough to get on. and other parts of gear where it would be tough to get on if you weren't a Mason.
Yeah.
Had you heard those things?
Yeah. But I tell you, that wasn't true at Baldwin.
Okay.
The best thing, you might, I'm not tell you just walk up to the office at the right time.
Yeah.
But the best thing, if you wanted to be in there, is to have dad or an uncle or someone that could
Right.
pull you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you were involved in unions at a point in American history. I'm not saying this just to compliment your past, but I mean, solidarity really meant something.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't see that being the case today. Oh, okay.
In fact, back then everybody was red hot Democrats.
Yeah.
And it came down from the union, and all the papers you received, all that stuff was all Democrat,
Yeah.
Republican. Things like abortion, people began to wonder when the left wing of the Democrat Party seemed to take I'd say the majority of the working class people now are Republican.
Yeah, but
in this.
But Kenny, the difference, I think, and I'm a historian, so I'll give you my opinion. I think what happened is that economic issues used to be the driving force in the working class and the Democratic Party. What happened is the Republicans got into a lot of these social and cultural issues, and those are things that mean a lot to a number of people who are working class Democrats, and because of the importance of the social issues and the cultural issues, they said, the heck with this, we're going to vote Republican.
I run for the school board.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how I was a Democrat, but I run a Republican area.
Yeah.
And it was Delaware Community School Board.
Right. Yeah.
And I was elected. But it wasn't. They wanted. I'm trying to think who was. I'm having trouble.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. How long ago was this?
Well, let's see. I was on the school board when Nixon
Okay.
resigned.
So this is in the 70s.
Yeah, the vice president moved up to president.
Yeah, so this is Delaware County School Corporation.
School.
Delaware Community School.
Community
Delcom.
was, yeah, was at the time.
Yeah. How long did you serve on the school board?
I served 4 years.
Oh, I bet that was a real education.
Yeah, it was. I went from there to. In fact, I resigned just at the end of my term because I went to Central America for a year. It's a short-term mission.
Yeah. Okay.
Building churches.
Oh, okay.
I've been a builder before.
Yeah. Right.
It wasn't education.
Yeah. Right. Anything else you'd like to add? Okay, well, thank you very much for your interview and participating in my project. I really do think that this has added a dimension, especially from the standpoint of a younger person being involved in leadership and union activities in Muncie. Thank you.